aim to motivate and inspire viewers to enjoy the clothes they wear as an expression of their personality and their beliefs. This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look.
Hello, welcome to episode 82 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda and I am your host. In this episode, I'll give you an update on what I'm up to in terms of knitting and crochet. I do not have an update on the linen project this time. I haven't been able to work on it at all. My week is quite truncated this week, so I've been focusing on getting orders out and responding to all your queries. And after my update, we dive into Layercake, a very colourful Layercake it is. Newsletter subscribers will already have seen the pre-order of a new large bright check in linen. It's shown here as baggies on little madam next to me, and I'm wearing a playsuit in the new large bright check. If you haven't seen any of it yet and you want to know more, tune into the Layercake section. But first off, an update on knitting and crochet. Yes, so last time I already showed you my finished twist and turns shawl, the Stephen West WestKnits mystery knit along that I had knitted on a smaller size needle with my 3-ply linen instead of the prescribed or recommended 4-ply yarn and 3.5mm needles. And I showed you this last time draped on the mannequin. I now have a second one to show you. Kits for this, by the way, on the website, and kits also for this on the website. This is the original size on 3.5mm needles, knitted in a combination of my Yak Blend 1, which are the two neutral colors, and Yak Blend 2 as an accent color. So the kits that I have available have the Yak Blend 1 and Yak Blend 2 as the main colors, Yak Blend 1 as the main color, and then you choose your accent color from one of the Yak Blend 2 shades. But the main shade and the contrast shade are always the same, are always the Yak Blend 1 in those two shades. So to give you an idea of the difference in size, here's a photograph of the two shawls laid out on the floor on top of each other, and that size difference looks really, really big. And when you're wearing it, that size difference is literally cut in half because you wear it around your shoulders. So what that means in numbers is the wingspan, as in measuring the shawl from one tip all the way to the other tip, is 2 meters 30. That's 90 inches. When I put that around my neck, the tips singly around my neck, you'll be able to see that as well. I'm showing that to you in the Layercake section as well. It's nearly down to my knees. But I wanted to give you an idea of scale, which is why I'm showing it to you in that section again as well. So 90 inches across, and the depth is 22 inches, 56 centimeters. As a comparison, so that's the depth, literally measured in the middle of the shawl down. The wingspan of the linen version, here it is in my lap, is 1 meter 50 or 59 inches. So when I put that around my neck, then it's just down to my hips. Again, you'll see in the next section. And the drop on that one is 38 centimeters or 15 inches. So hopefully that gives you a bit more of an idea. If you don't like the idea of linen, but you do like the idea of the smaller size, then I have soliloquy kits available as well. Have a look on the website if you're interested. So that's it for the twist and turns shawl, this year's mystery knit along. As you can see, just with like I did with the linen, I've added tassels at the end of the outer two braids that run there on the edges of the main panel. and I've chosen the accent color to really mirror the accent that runs through at that level of the shawl. I did the same thing with the linen version. I'll put this back on, actually, it's lovely and cozy. So it's a proper wrap. You can round this around your neck multiple times. This will go around your neck twice as comparison. So that's for finished objects in the knitting. We're moving on to my work in progress in a minute, but I just wanted to highlight one final time that I did manage to keep my promise, and the kits for the little crochet bags are indeed online and available to order. Thank you to all of you, those who have responded so enthusiastically and already placed your orders. I've been very, very busy winding mini hanks of the cottage garden colorway and sending those out. You have a choice of 10 different colors, if I remember correctly, for the outside, and then 5 different colors of fabric for the inside. So you can really put some nice combinations together. Just to remind you, the inside of the cottage garden that I made is in a small check, and the strap that comes with it is in the bitter lime, to make them go together and not make the strap take away from the attention that the bag gets. So have a look online. If you have any questions, let me know. Instructions of how to cut and measure the bag on the inside, the sewn bag, are with the pattern, and included are as well is the hardware, the clips for your shoulder strap, as well as a very strong magnet which will keep its strength through multiple layers of fabric. So when you turn your bag inside out, the magnet will easily close through your crocheted layers. So that's the crochet bag, and I haven't finished the yellow one yet that I've been working on. However, you've responded very enthusiastically to that color, the pot of gold that I grabbed to knit another sample in. And as you see, I've made progress, but I'm not done yet. Here is one of the hanks in the pot of gold, and I've been surprised how many of you picked up on me working on that color and ordered the pot of gold. But like I said, there are other colors available as well. Then, work in progress. This is the Back to Life, or Black to Life jumper pattern by Isabel Kramer that I stumbled across when I was considering what I would knit using my lovely ArtYarns cashmere that I had bought. I bought the cashmere in a colorway, more about this bag in a minute, in a colorway called Double Dutch. Here it is in the cashmere, and here it is in the Mohair Ombre. Same colorway on two different bases, the Cashmere Ombre 2-ply and the Mohair Ombre, both from ArtYarns. I had bought this ages ago, didn't know what to do with it. And then I had a conversation with Millie from Tribe Yarns, and she said, I can ask ArtYarns to dye you this colorway if you like it so much on the cashmere. So I ordered that. It came in, and I was not convinced that 2 of these will knit me a big-ish jumper. And I didn't want to be needing a third skein of it. Also, of course, I want to make it go as far as I can. So I did lots and lots of swatching that I told you about last time already, and I had already decided that I wanted to knit in the broken rib stitch that I had discovered using this same cashmere on my Mare shawl earlier in the year. I wanted to use that same stitch. So now I was thinking about using these two yarns in some kind of combination, but I'm actually not a great fan of wearing mohair, not feeling it on me. Then I remembered that Millie had said at some point, well, actually this is two plies that you could separate from each other. So you could use one of the plies, wind the other one in a ball, and use one of the plies and knit with it, holding it together with a different yarn. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using the Yak Blend 2 in Bitter Lime, and I'm holding that together with one of the two strands of the mohair, and I'm using that for the garter part of the broken rib stitch. This broken rib is a combination of knit one, purl one for 2 rows, which I'm doing with the cashmere, and then 2 rows of garter stitch, which I'm doing in the Yak Blend 2, held together with one of the strands of mohair. And the reason that I chose that is that it pushes back the intensity and the dominance of that bitter lime color, because I really wanted my cashmere color grading, because that's, of course, there's a lot of changes, slow changes of color in this yarn. I really wanted that to shine through, and I didn't want that to be overpowered by the bitter lime. So by knitting it together with a strand of this colorway ends up mixing with my bitter lime, which of course pushes it back a little bit. I'm really pleased with the result. I've made a modification in the sense that I have made the armholes deeper and longer, because this is knitted from the top down. So after the set of increases that you do, you end up going around to the armhole and then separating for the sleeves. I've made those armholes bigger and deeper because I wanted to have that sense of an oversized jumper. It's not super wide. It is about 24 inches, so 48-inch bust in total, which is not super big, but I may end up knitting an A-line and making it flare a little bit towards the bottom, and it's going to be nice and roomy and very cozy, with obviously armholes that are going to be nice and big as well. So, and I'm going to make the sleeves on this jumper nice and long so I can pull them over my hands. So far so good. I'm loving it. I don't know yet what I'm going to do at the neckline. I may end up just doing a short section of stocking stitch, which I then allow to roll forward and roll over without doubling it up or whatever, just having that very simple round neckline with that rolled edge. I quite like that idea, and I may do something similar at the sleeves. Don't know yet. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, but so far so good. I'm enjoying the knit. It is a matter of knitting with decent light, because it's very easy when I'm holding those yarns together to knit a couple of stitches and miss out the mohair thread, because of course it's so thin. So I have to keep checking that I don't miss out the mohair thread. It's not completely mindless knitting and just staring at the TV of listening to my podcast. I really do have to pay attention to it, but the result I think is worth it. I love it, and it feels great on the skin. These little nubbles that are so soft are lovely against the skin. So I'm really happy with it so far. So that's my current knitting project. It's the only thing I'm working on, in combination with my little yellow crochet bag, which I am going to finish and turn properly into one of the little pouches. I really love using them, and I'm using the first one that I made most still so far, because of course I've left this here at the studio for photography and using it as a prop. But once that is over, I might start using it. I'll definitely use the yellow one though, even if I keep this one as a sample. So what is left in this section? Well, you saw me take these two hanks out of a little project bag. This project bag is made by Zoe, cooked up and thought of by Zoe of MapleandBliss. You may have seen Zoe and her MapleandBliss goodies on my stand at Yarndale and earlier in the year at Wonderwool in Wales. And Zoe has an Etsy shop, which I will show down here. And when she showed her project bags at Yarndale, this particular one was not part of it. This was a project bag that Sharon from 5 Moons Yarns had specifically commissioned from Zoe and asked her to make specifically for her. So Sharon just had her knitting lying around on the stand, which happened to be in this project bag. And we never ever in our history of years at the shows had such a nice time people discovering this project bag and having conversations, of course, on the back of that. And we've never had so many requests. So Zoe has taken the initiative to make this bag for anybody who wants one. It's very, very, very reasonably priced. I'll show her Etsy shop details again here. I think she even throws in free shipping, and all the proceeds of the bag are going to a charity, which I will broadcast here as well. So if you are stuck for a fun Christmas gift, then and for somebody who is feels very strongly about the current war still ongoing in Ukraine. Of course, the war is nothing to laugh about, but this does make for a great discussion point. If you like this idea and you know someone or even yourself who would like one of these, then please go have a look at the Etsy, at Zoe's Etsy shop. She's got other lovely, gorgeous things as well. Go and have a look at Zoe's Etsy shop. Have a look at the project bags. This is not the only one. This is just the one that created a lot of discussion and a lot of laughter on the Yarndale stand. But she's got other quotes and phrases as well on these wonderful bags. And give her some love and attention on my behalf. So that's it for, actually I should have called this one of my Meet the Maker sections, shouldn't I? Completely forgot about it. Anyway, Meet the Maker Zoe. She'll be with us again at Wonderwool next spring, which we've already applied for. So fingers crossed that we'll be there again and you'll be able to meet Zoe there as well. For now though, this was it on knitting and crochet. Off we go, diving into Layercake. Enjoy. Here is the large bright check, everyone. Let me take off my linen WestKnits twist and turn shawl. More about that later, but let me start by showing you properly this gorgeous new large check. As you can see, it's lovely and bright, and it has lots of the different Layercake colors in it, especially the new colors that we've introduced this past year. So whether it's the chartreuse, for example, some of the greens, some of the blues and purples that were in the large check as well, the large purple check, or the magenta, for example, the spice colors, they're all represented in this gorgeous new check. I hope you love it as much as I do. I'm very excited about it, and that's why I thought, you know what, we'll go all in. We'll do the most popular garments in the collection, except for the love dress. I've left the love dress out on purpose because there's so much in terms of color and it's so busy. So I thought, well, actually, if I go for smock, playsuit, tulip dress and baggies, that gives you a really nice broad choice of different garments to team with your existing Layercakes or add to your wardrobe if you're not a Layercake lady just yet. But here it is. So you can see that there's like browns in there, like here and on the pocket. There is teals and blues, purples. There's some gorgeous bright blues here at the side. And that really bright line here where you think, oh my gosh, what is that, like bright yellow? No, actually, that is chartreuse. It just looks very yellow on the camera, but that is chartreuse. So I'm wearing the extra length, of course, Layercake Playsuit in the size 1 to show you as much of the different colors that are in this large check as possible in one go. But today's section is all about showing you how it colors with all, well, not all of them, but a selection of the different Layercake colors that are in the collection already and that you may already have in your wardrobe if you already wear Layercake. So before I start adding garments to this outfit, let me quickly tell you what else I'm showing you. I'm wearing the Anytime top in grey in a size 0. So this is fitted on me. If I would wear my regular size, it would be a size 1, and that would give me some more roominess around the bust. But going in and out of these outfits, it's nice to have a fitted top on, makes it easier to change. So I've gone for the size 0. And of course, it's part of that more fitted silhouette as well, which I wanted to show you first off. Now, what I'm holding here is, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, for the others, please be patient with me, a 100% linen version of the recent WestKnits mystery knit along called Twist and Turns, and it's knitted on with my 3-ply linen, so that's much thinner yarn than the 4-ply that was recommended for this project, and on smaller needles as a result to get a nice fabric. So this is knitted on 2.75mm needles with the linen, and I recommend for you to either go for 2.75 or 3mm depending on how loose or tight you knit. Always try a little swatch, of course. I've got kits for this and other colorways in the linen on the website. If you like the size of this, because of course it's smaller than the original, which I'll show you in a sec as well. If you like this smaller size, but you're not so keen on the idea of knitting with linen, because of course linen is very unforgiving, it doesn't stretch. So especially for tighter knitters, that's more of a challenge. So if you don't like knitting with linen, then I also have kits in soliloquy. And that's of course my 3-ply yarn that, because it is wool and silk and alpaca and bamboo based, it does have some stretch. So that's an alternative if you like the size but you don't like the linen. And then if you prefer a 4-ply, let me show you what I've got for you in the 4-plies. It's right here. And it is a combination of the Yak Blend 1 yarn that is in the 2 grey colors, or like natural and the dark grey in this shawl, and the Yak Blend 2, which is the accent color. So I've put some kits together with the 2 base colors all the same. So the main color and the contrast color are all the natural and the dark grey, or the natural and the, all natural and dark grey. And then I have, you can choose in fact what accent color you want, and you can see how much bigger this shawl is. So this is what you get when you work on the original 3.5mm needles and the 4-ply yarn that was recommended in the pattern. So you get a much bigger shawl. As you can see, it's much more of a wrap, very typical of the Stephen West shawls. They're always really big. And the only modifications that I have made are, well, I didn't actually, full disclosure, this was the wonderful Gemma, my sample knitter, who knitted this sample shawl for me while I was working on the linen one. And the only thing I've added to both the linen and this 4-ply version is 2 tassels at the bottom of the first braid. There are 5 braids in total. The other 3 braids are caught in that bottom section, but the 2 on the outside, you're just meant to work them into that bottom section. I thought they were looking a little bit lost, so I've added some tassels to that. That's all really. The rest is all following the pattern precisely, but you can see here how much different and how much bigger this large shawl is. And even with my 5'10", it almost goes down to my knees when I just have it wrapped around my shoulders once. So if that's a little bit too much for you, then go for a 3-ply, go for smaller needles, and you'll end up with that more compact size that I showed you first. So let's keep going with this large bright check, shall we? Not all of you are knitters, so thank you for bearing with me and sitting through this explanation. I'm going to start adding garments to this playsuit in different colors to show you how easily it picks up different themes and different moods from the different colors in the collection. Here we go. Here is a herringbone duster in the apple colorway. As you may remember, the herringbone, all the herringbone colors, and I've got new ones coming for next year that are based on the same weave. They're all undyed linen plus one other color. And so this is the undyed linen with apple, which of course lightens the whole thing from that nice bright green that you have as you've got the pure apple weave. But as a result of weaving it together with the natural undyed linen color, the whole thing lightens up a little bit, and it's a really nice, light, springy kind of colorway, this light, fresh grass color. And look how it goes with this gorgeous large check. Isn't it lovely together? I really like how in a color like this, the large check ends up pulling this brighter green more into an autumnal palette and pulls it into a darker direction, despite the fact that it's actually really bright with all the different colors that it's got in it. So I also think that one of the themes that jumps out a little bit more in the bright check is how much brown there is in there. And especially if you look down these 2 vertical lines, you get these beautiful kind of rust and fawn and tobacco type browns that jump out a little bit more when you wear it with a color like this. But if we push it in a different direction, then you'll see that different colors jump out of the large bright check. I think it is my best check to date. I like this even better than the others that I did before, and it's really for its versatility. It's again that brightness, but because there's so many different Technicolor colors in there, you can wear it with virtually everything. So without going into repetition forever, I'll just keep flitting through different colors and giving you a better idea of how the different colors jump out when you wear different colors with them. Next one's up. Here is a Gansey in the sunshine yellow. Do you remember the Gansey from last winter? I've shown it to you here with the twist and turn shawl tucked inside because I really wanted to highlight before anything else, before I swap it and turn it inside out, because you may remember it's actually a double-sided garment. But before I do that, I wanted to highlight that the type of collar that we've given it is especially designed so that it's perfectly suitable to wear cowls, shawls and roll necks, things like that in it. So you can really dress it up and make it nice and toasty and warm, so that if in where you live, either inside or outside, it's cool but not super cold, you can wear this instead of a jumper or a coat or jacket. Just throw it on over whatever you're wearing, or when it's colder inside, wear it inside instead of a jumper. So I will remove the shawl again and turn this inside out to show you how different it looks when you wear it the other way around, and the yellow becomes an accent color rather than the all over color. Again though, how wonderful and how beautifully does it pick up on the yellow in the Playsuit. So, shawl off. I'll just keep putting that on and off and grabbing it and chucking it here and there, so bear with me on that. Turn this whole baby inside out. We have changed the placement of the labels, especially so you don't end up walking around with a label on the middle of your back. And here it is inside out with the magpie stripe as its lining color, or alternative color rather. And again, that same collar kind of standing up, but now in the accent color of the yellow. This is the smaller size because the Ganzi comes in two sizes. It follows the sizing of the step top. So if you're familiar with that sizing, then you'll know automatically how this is. This is the size 1 and the size 2 is a considerable bit bigger. Have a look on the website as well and check the measurements if you're unsure, or ask me if you like. So meanwhile, let's move on. I'm a bit darker here. Let me grab one of the recent wool dusters that we have just been producing for you and show that in combination with this large bright check. Here is the blue marl window pane wool, which we have sold out completely. Thank you to all of those who participated in the pre-order for the dusters and the palazzos. As it happens, I also have one pair of baggies in the blue marl window pane in, I think it's the large regular. I will check that, and if I'm wrong I will shout at myself down here. I think it's the large regular. So if you're keen on anything that I still have in stock, I think I've got one of these left, maybe one or two of the trousers, and one pair of baggies. So if you're keen on the blue marl window pane and there's one in your size, nab it. If not, then I do apologize. We are completely out of fabric, so I can't make anything else anymore in this particular color. So what do you think though in combination with the large check? Because of course this is check on check, a wool check on top of a linen check. I think it is fab because it picks up on colors from some of the squares. So I really like it. And even though this is quite a classic kind of color with that wine colored red window pane check, it's wonderful because of its shape in combination with a fun and funky color like the bright check. But let's keep going. While I've got the Playsuit on, of course I can throw open things over the top to really accentuate the fact that I've got this all over suit on. And those so far have all been short, but of course I can go for longer. Let me grab something longer. Of course I can't help myself and I have to go for some drama, baby. So here is a wrap dress in the cherry linen, and I was looking in the mirror to see where are my squares that have a similar color. And yeah, I've got one here. I've got some down here that are virtually identical to the cherry colorway. So as before, you'll find a square somewhere that goes with whatever you're wearing. It is kind of fun to look for them and find them. But point made, colorful top, lovely in terms of swinging and swaying, and of course you can then tie this up. I had a question recently from somebody who'd bought one of these and said, sorry for asking, but how do I do it up? People tend to expect that if you have a wrapping garment, there should be a hole to put the inside tie through and then go around the outside and tie in the back. Of course, we could have gone for that, but I wanted to leave the back completely unbroken. I didn't want to go over the top with a tie on that back. So that's why we've got the loops. So you just go through the loop and then tie the tie back on itself, rather than look for a way out to tie around the outside. So I'm doing it on purpose really loose here. If I do that again on the other side as well, then it still has that kind of coat feel at the top, because I'm not wearing it closed like a dress. But at the bottom, it ends up looking skirt-like, of course, and it swings and sways very differently when you tie it up loosely like this than when you've got it completely loose. And it's just a different look and a different effect and a different way of wearing it. You can tie it one way and leave the other way loose altogether, like I've shown in the video that I did when we first introduced these gorgeous dresses. I have now, for a couple of customers, made extra long ones. I had a couple of 6 foot tall ladies who said, I love it, but I think the proportions would look better on me if we make this longer. And boy, does that work in an extra length. It is such a labored make though. Andrea ends up disappearing under a mountain of fabric because there's 4.5 meters in one of those bottom skirt panels. So a lot of fabric in it, which is why we don't constantly offer it in a wider range of sizes and length. But if you are interested in that, then let me know if you want it shorter or longer or anything else different, and we'll always see what we can do for you. But enough about the wrap dress. I wanted to stick with the large bright check, and I've just shown you how well it goes with the cherry. So let's keep going with different colors, and rather than staying in the Playsuit, I'll put a different bottom on and show you the tulip dresses that or a couple of the tulip dresses that we're doing in the large bright check as well, just to completely change the silhouette and of course the color combinations that I can show you. Here we go. Tulip dress, size 1 petite, more like a tunic on me, and you can see a little bit in the proportions that in its design, it's meant to be worn by somebody not quite as tall as me. Now, if I would go to the size 2 petite and all the shaping would be a little bit looser on me, then that would look better already, even though I am tall. So you can really play with those different proportions with the different lengths of layer cake. So I wanted to show you this, not just to talk about proportions, but to show you how well this goes with the bitter lime palazzos that I've put on. I've already had a couple of people specifically asking, how is the large bright check with the palazzos, the bitter lime palazzos? Here it is, bitter lime, a wonderful color to wear with it. There's a square here that is close to bitter lime. There's one here. So again, you'll find dotted around the dress different squares that pick up on the colors that are in bitter lime. So really good combination. And I will now show the dress in a slightly bigger size. I think I've got a size 2 regular because I only had the size 1 in the petite length, because of course we haven't made a lot of these yet. The production run is yet to start. So I've just got a selection of them to show you. On my left, I can point that out to you as well, are of course the smocks. I'll wear a smock as well in a little bit. I have a couple of more smocks than of everything else, so I was able to show them here. So there's a size 1 smock worn with a love top in magenta, which I've just made available to order as well, because I think it's a wonderful combination as well with the large bright check. Then are a pair of baggies with the same grey top that I'm wearing. And then is a size 2 smock on a size 2 mannequin. And that has been combined. I've combined that with the navy jersey baggies and the navy anytime top. So navy is also a really nice color to wear with the large bright check. Well, like I said, it's like really difficult to find colors that don't go. But anyway, I'll keep going. And next is the slightly larger dress. And you'll see how the proportions of that are very different on me. There I am, back in my comfort zone. Nice and loose and comfortable and very differently proportioned, as you can see. Of course, I could then go longer still and go for the long size dress. But I think especially in combination with trousers or with the skirt underneath, I think it's a really nice choice to go for a dress that doesn't go all the way down to almost my ankles. So I kept the palazzos on because I wanted to show you the combination of the dress and the palazzos, but I'll change those now to yet another of the very popular recent color introductions. So with recent color introductions, I meant the spice colors. I think we have a tiny, no, we don't. I was going to say, I think we have a tiny bit left of the mixed spice, but I think that's all gone as well now. All 3 colors have sold out. I am wearing a pair of saffron baggies, and those are the only baggies that I have left in stock in any of the spice colors. So these are the long, large. So if you like the idea of the saffron baggies, you can see how well they color with the dress. Virtually the same color is going through this stripe. The big checks, the orangey, pinky orangey checks in this stripe are very similar to saffron. So again, it's a nice combination. If you like that color and long large is the right size for you, grab these. They're the last ones. But again, just illustrating this particular color with the large check. Now, if you say, yeah, I like the large check, but I don't always want to see as much of it, I really want to tone it down a little bit, then of course you can just add a tunic over the top. Let me grab one to show you how that affects the overall look of the outfit. Here's the same outfit, but with a dark teal smock added. So taking a lot of those bright check colors away from around my face, if you're not keen on that idea, pushing them down. They're still all there, but not quite as prevalent and not quite as loud all over. So that's another nice possibility. And of course, if you say, well, okay, well, if I'm going to cover it here anyway, then I might as well just go for trousers instead of a dress that I then cover up. If you know in advance that you don't want to wear that bright check on the top half of your body, then of course you can opt for a pair of the baggies. So let me swap the dress and the baggies that I'm wearing at the moment underneath this outfit just for a pair of the large bright check baggies, so you can see what that looks like. So you can see how different this looks. It's all much more cool, calm and collected up here, much more neutral, and then there's a party going on down there. So if you like this look as well, then of course there's lots of other much calmer, more neutral or just single color layer cakes that you can wear on the top and then with a pair of the very bright baggies underneath. Let me show you another popular color. I've got a dress left in the mixed spice just to show you what that is like with the bright baggies. Remember that I said that if you go for a slightly bigger size on the petite dress, then the proportions change in a way that it'll look better on a taller frame as well. Here's the example. So where in the large bright check I was wearing the size 1 petite tulip dress, this is the size 2 petite tulip dress. And that changes the proportions such that it all ends up looking better, despite the fact that I'm taller as well, if you know what I mean. So I hope you can see what I'm talking about. But the main thing to show you here, of course, is the mixed spice colorway of the dress, combined with the baggies. So what I would love to show you, but I don't have the right sizes because we've sold out, is the mixed spice in the love dress, and then put the large bright check smock over the top. I think that would look really good, but I can't make that combination because I don't have that kind of combination in stock. I can't show it to you. So still, you can see again there are squares that have a very similar color to this dress, another great color combination, and again keeping it all very plain and very neutral up top with the party further down. And then of course you can pick up on that with a shawl like this one, where you go like, okay, well, I will repeat one or two of the bright colors, sorry plant, of the bright colors that are in the baggies, and pick up on those higher up in your outfit. And of course you can go for pretty much every color because that's what's in the baggies. You can't go wrong with that. So the other thing that I wanted to highlight is how good does this gray look with all the different colors that I've shown you so far. It is such a gorgeous neutral, and it doesn't just form a great backdrop for lots of different layer cake size colors. It's also a really good backdrop for lots of different complexions. I haven't come across anyone yet who cannot wear this color gray, and it's because it's a relatively warm gray. It's still clearly a gray, so for all you cool types, you can wear this gray color really well. But for those of you who wear warmer colors, this gray will blend in beautifully with your warmer shades, and it will complement your complexion as well. So I'm going to keep going because of course one of the typical colors that screams out of some of these garments is that line of chartreuse that runs down the front of the garment, and of course that is very prevalent here in my baggies as well. So let me grab something in chartreuse to show you that in combination with the baggies. Here we go. Size 1 petite love dress in the chartreuse, picking up that color that runs all the way down here and gets cross woven, of course, with other colors, so goes in lots of different directions, but clearly recognizable when combined with the chartreuse up top. And the love dress being slightly more generous around the bust area because of the shape of the dolman sleeve, and therefore not quite as fitted around the bust, which is what makes, in this particular case on me, the size 1 petite more comfortable to wear than the size 1 petite in the tulip dress. So that's a thing for you to remember. Some of you may be very familiar with this already, but that shaping of the love dress, same goes for the love tops in the cotton and in the linen, mean that if you're right on the cusp between sizes, it's worth double checking, because you may be able to size down, and especially if you want to go for a more fitted look than like this one, then you may be better off in a size 1, even if you normally, for example with the tulip dresses, would wear a size 2. If in doubt, give me a shout, always happy to help. Meanwhile, I'm going to stick with love dresses and put on a different love dress, and I'll try and surprise you with my choice of the next one. Let me know what you think. Size 1 regular love dress in the large purple check, the one that we sold out of before I managed to create the next one. And look at these two next to each other. Can we get more crazy than this? Not really, but does it look crazy? not really either. It just looks really nice and colorful, or that's what I think. So I don't know what you make of it. Then of course you can calm this down by grabbing one of the colors that is in this, for example that dark teal that I was wearing, and put a smock over the top to calm this all down without losing any of the colors really. So let me, rather than grabbing the dark teal, let me find one of the just grey smocks or tabards, which I know so many of you may have and may wear regularly, and show you how that combines with some of these really bright colors. Here we go. So this is actually one of the colors that I have on sale in the smocks and tabards. Of course, they're not a full range of sizes available, but I have some of the charcoal in the tabards and the smocks, some of the sizes on sale. Same goes with the steel. So some of these really neutral colors that are just great staples. Have a look in the sales section on the website under the last chance section. So you've got the logo, you've got Layercake, Tall Yarns, 5 Moons, and you've got last chance, and that's where you'll find the sale items of the Layercakes collection. I keep adding to them every now and then, so just keep an eye on them. I tend to forget to announce that because I'm always so busy creating new things to delight you with. But something that has been around for a longer time and that is on sale may be a way to delight you as well, of course. So here is the charcoal smock, then worn over the top of the purple, the large purple check, and then having that really large bright check at the bottom. Would you ever have thought of putting this combination together, and doesn't it just look fab? And I cannot emphasize that enough. To play with your wardrobe, put combinations of colors together that you never would have gravitated towards without just either grabbing blind or just being adventurous. And you may surprise yourself and the people around you. And some of those outfits will attract the most compliments just because they are unusual. And with the colors that I'm always working on and the new colors that I'm introducing, I'm always ensuring that some of those colors are very loud, but they never end up being garish somehow. And then in combination with the shapes and the rest of the outfit, it's still always really nice and just unusual looking. At least that's what I think. So let me remove this dress in between and show you what a plain grey smock is in combination with the really bright baggies. A bit calmer, a bit more everyday if you like, still the lovely bright check at the bottom, and then much more neutral on top. Of course, I could jazz this outfit up by putting a brighter top. I've stuck with that really neutral grey throughout because I was really concentrating on the linen and the different colors of linen and how they combine with the large bright check. But of course you could then go for the chartreuse, for example, one of the chartreuse tops to pick up on the bright colors in there, or the raspberry, for example. Of course the options are endless, or like we've got here, the new magenta in the linen. So there's one last crazy combination that I just thought of when I put this on, and I'm going to put it together and just show you and see what you think and what you make of it, and what you think. Of course, I want to know from you what you think, but it was really thinking, well, can I take it any further with those really bright combination of checks together? I think I can. Here it goes. Yep, I had a feeling I was going to like this, and I adore it. It is the smock and the baggies in the large bright check, and then having the large purple check of the love dress just peeping out in places. So it's all large checks together and mixed and mingled, and they are just fab, don't you think? Say no if you really mean it, but also say yes if you really mean it. So I'm going to leave it at this. It's going to be too long in already, I'm sure, by now. I hope you've enjoyed the episode though. I hope you're enjoying the large checks. If you have any requests for seeing it with any other particular colors, or you're not sure about it, then always just shoot me a message. I can send you pictures. I can talk to you about different color combinations if you prefer. I can send you color swatches, of course, of the different fabrics if you should choose that. Let me know what you think of it all. For those of you who've already ordered, thank you so much. For those of you who haven't yet, the pre-order window for the large bright check finishes at the end of Monday, the 28th of November. And then we're producing them the 2 weeks after that, so they can all still reach everybody throughout the world before we have a slowdown for the holidays. So any questions, give me a shout and I will see you again soon.